Morning, ladies and gentlemen, CT5 once again. This morning, let's talk a little bit about epilepsy and a little bit about seizures. There are a lot of misconceptions when it comes to this particular subject and this particular disability. To my recollection and estimation, there are 40 different classifications. Please don't quote me on this. I'm not a physician, but I've done my basic research on it. There were about, as of 2026, roughly 40 different categories or types of seizure. And when many of us think about seizures, we think convulsions. That's not the case. And I'm a primary example. Mine, they call petit mal seizures back when I was growing up. Basically, you would stare off and kind of zone out for 5, 10 seconds, maybe longer, and then be able to respond afterwards. Now, grand mal is what the convulsive seizures were known as back in that time period, 80s, 90s, even 2000s, roughly. Now, my seizures have become what are known as tonic clonic seizures, or what I would term as TC, as an acronym. Now, I would just say that these are convulsive seizures, which they are. Convulsions basically is electrocution from the inside out. You have no control over your body, and sometimes the aftermath of a seizure can result in atrophic paralysis, basically meaning that you still have feeling in that area, but it's so weak that you can't move it for a period of time. That's what happens during my long-term seizures. There's also a term within the medical field known as status, or status epilepticus, which means you don't come out of the seizure. And from my initial research, that is starts at 3 minutes and on. Now, usually with a this is just basic first aid. When you see somebody convulsing, you don't restrain them. You don't you support them. You make sure that they are out of injury range. And immediately, if you don't know what you're doing, obviously you call an ambulance. And even if you do know what you're doing, there may be a time where it goes beyond, as I mentioned, status, where it continues seizing and, yeah, brain damage can and will happen. In my case, there was about 2.5 years from 2014 to late 2016 where they were uncontrolled. I know when something's going to go bad. As such, I would get down before immediately, and I would just say, "Hey, Dad, I'm about to have a seizure." 2 seconds later, I would just start convulsing, and usually it wouldn't stop. It didn't start to become under control until I was put on a chemical known as Ativan, which is one of its uses is a muscle relaxer. And thank goodness for that, because convulsions are basically severe muscle spasms. And I can detect when things are going to go wrong. This is a warning sign, or in medical terminology, an aura. This is before the seizure. Now, if these auras happen before, I can get to this chemical within a matter of seconds. So that stops the progression of this behavior. And so, you know, regardless of what category of seizure someone has, some seizures, even with medications, could remain uncontrolled, and that's very, very dangerous. That's where certain acquaintances and certain friends whom have epilepsy have it a lot more severely than I do. They have to have personal care aides whom help with various things. They may have seizures and they may not be able to tell somebody. Those are what I term as non-convulsive, just as a basic comparison. And so the brain, it's a very, very complicated thing. And so trying to, I guess, those of you who have epilepsy understand terminology, understand what I'm speaking about. Those without, I mean, this may be just, I guess you could term this as seizures 101, just a basic understanding of what they are. I myself don't know a whole lot about many different categories, but I know about my diagnosis. And so that's kind of what I'm conveying as far as my experience with it. Also, I'd like to know from from all of you who happen to run across this video. Comments are more than welcome below. Also, if you'd like, I'd be more than happy to get together on any video platform that's available. Just compare experiences with any disabilities that we may have. With these short videos, I'm trying to create sort of a community of people who can come together and help us understand each other. Again, I do sincerely appreciate your time. Please like and subscribe to further the channel. And this is Cripple Tales 5 signing off until next time. Thank you.